Testing. And testing. Cool. For anyone here, I'm just going to get the fire started real quick and then I'll get into forging. Gonna get a few pine needles from the yard just to help things along. So today, all I've got is two railroad spike knives to make, and then I also have to make a towel ring that I didn't make last week. And then I'll just keep on making some of those plant hangers, maybe some more bottle openers, who knows. Whatever I'm feeling at that point in time. I noticed that I refaced my anvil. Well, maybe it won't. You're pretty perpendicular to it, but it's nice and smooth now. It means it's slippery, but it also means there's less stuff trapped in there. There was a lot of oil, a lot of dust trapped in some of the pits, and it was making it harder to get a clean finish on the metal. So decided to go ahead and do that. I mean, I've been using it for, I guess, 6 or 7 years now. And that was the second time I've refaced it in that whole time. And it was outside for most of that time too. So it needed a nice do-over, a little maintenance. Nothing major, just took a grinder to it. And then a finer sandpaper disc after that. But it does, help to, maintenance your tools. I will soon have a new hammer. Next week we are making hammers in class finally, which I'm very excited for because it's my favorite thing to make, I think. I just really, whenever I've made them in the past, I've really enjoyed making them, so happy about that. And you guys will get to see a new hammer. One that's in a style that I enjoy and all of that fun stuff. All right. Let's get this going. Okay. That should be good enough to get it going. Hopefully, at least. I have to turn the blower on here in a second, probably. Yeah. All right. That should be good there. Get the railroad spikes ready. And then I gotta find my chisel. Oh, it's right here. Cool. How much water do I have? Yeah, I'll be right back. I'm gonna refill my water real quick. Leave my mic here so it doesn't disconnect. I have returned with water. I'm gonna go ahead and open the garage door because it's nice and cool outside today. Okay. Getting to the point where I can start putting some coal on, maybe. Maybe not. Almost there. Yeah, we should be fine. All right. Oh, it's going to be a little warm. And now we can turn the blower on for good this time. All right. So, for the railroad spike knives, the customer wants one of them to have a pineapple twist handle and a straight back. The other one is a pineapple twist handle with a dragon's breath blade. And all that means is, it's going to be hard to explain. I'll just show you when the time comes. Fairly simple to make. Should be able to make them fairly quickly. That'll leave plenty of time for other stuff fooling around. You know. And you all should let me know if you want a better camera position, if you'd like to see the fire more, all of that stuff. And what is up, both of you? There is a large delay, so yeah, you won't hear me respond to you for a good while, especially if I'm in the middle of a heat. But it's good to have you all here. Today we're going to be whacking things. So I'm going to get one of these railroad spikes heating up. Now for the pineapple twist handles, I always start with the twist first. And for that I will need a chisel. It's going to take a minute for it to heat up. This is the first heat, so that always takes the longest. It's got to warm up from room temperature to about 3,000 degrees or so. Versus back up to 3,000 from like 15-ish hundred. Where did my eye protection go? That's going to be required. There it is. So that's where this has been hiding. Lovely. Good to know. Not quite yet. I'm impatient. Heat up! forges at my school are much bigger and hotter than mine is, just because they're industrial sized. So it takes a bit longer. I'm used to the super fast heat up. Spoiled, you could say. One nice thing about being a blacksmith is I can go to pretty much any climate and be warm if I have a shop, because the forge heats a large area, as you may expect. Man, come on. Because if I was standing in front of that forge, if I wasn't walking away like this, I'd be sweating right now. All right, we're just going to start regardless. So I want to start whacking stuff. So this isn't optimally hot, but it'll do. So all you do for a pineapple twist to start out is I'm just going to make slits down the entire length of the handle. I'm going to bring it about yay far. I've never actually measured the length of the material I use to make the blade of a railroad spike knife, but I've made so many of them now that I can just tell approximately how much I need for how long of a blade I want. And that's good and bad. You have to be very familiar with what you're doing, because then you do it a lot faster. It's bad because I couldn't tell another person in exact detail the process that I use, and their first few attempts may come out looking a little different than mine. But no one's really looking to mass produce railroad spike knives. And again, I'm doing this on all four sides. And then I'll twist it, flatten it back to square, make these same slits, and then untwist it half of a turn, and that'll give me the pineapple twist. Wasn't very good. That was better. And it's cold. Cold is a relative term. It's like 900 to 1,000 degrees, but too cold to work. All right. Oh no. Some water. Okay. Now it's hot enough. It's important to keep it straight as you're doing this, just because if you don't, say you're cutting a straight line. If your piece is curved and you unbend the piece, your straight line is actually going to be curved because it was made to that curved, uneven plane as opposed to being made to a flat surface. Just things to keep in mind. There's a lot of things that you just have to like remember or know when you're doing stuff like this. And what I really like about it is like none of it is super mathematical per se. It's just head knowledge that you have. You don't have to be super well learned to understand it, you know? It's one of the cool things about blacksmithing. Now, obviously, knowing metallurgy, basic metallurgy helps a lot, and being familiar with what you're doing helps a lot. And, you know, knowing the pressure equation and all of that certainly helps, but you can blacksmith without any prior knowledge of anything pertaining to it if you just have somebody to teach you, or a book to read even, or a YouTube video to watch. That's how I started. I saw a YouTube video when I was 8 years old, and I'm fortunate enough to have parents that are very supportive of me and my interests. So I decided with my dad that we wanted to make a forge and try it out. And, you know, it took me a while to like start having successful projects. There were a bunch of projects initially that were throwaway projects. That happened for about 2 years. So I was 8 years old and could barely lift the hammer anyway. But, you know, it's like anything. Practice makes perfect. And as you do it more, you learn, you gain knowledge, that sort of thing. So what I'm going to do now is flatten down that railroad spike head so that I can grip it in my twisting wrench so I can twist it. Because that's the next step, is twisting it. Nice and hot. See, this is the temperature you want. This whitish yellow. Because the thing about it is, the hotter you have your steel, the faster it's going to move under your hammer, the more malleable it'll be. So if you have it almost to its melting temperature, you're going to do 10 times the work you'll do if it's half that temperature. Or even, it's exponential growth, if that makes sense. So the hotter it is, the exponentially easier it is to move. Until it gets to the point of falling apart, in which case, you know, it's not going to be very effective anyway, but. Okay. Need my twisting wrench. There we go. It's this here. It's a monkey wrench with a handle welded on it. I can adjust how tight it is for whatever it is I'm twisting. You'll see people make twisting jigs, and that's great and good, but I like one tool that can kind of twist any size material. It's very convenient. And y'all can't see this little vise I'm using, but it's pretty much just a clamp welded to my forge. Nothing special. It's not like a post vise or anything like that. So it's a full twist in whatever direction you want for the first twist. And the second twist is a half twist in the opposite direction. It's basically half of an untwist. And you'll end up with something that looks like this. And the next step is actually just to square it back up like that. I'm going to heat it back up. It's old, but you get the idea. And if anybody viewing this has a question, if anybody viewing this as a video has a question, just come back next week, Sunday at 2 to 2:30, and just go ahead and type that in chat, because this is a great place to actually ask questions and get answers quickly. I try to reply to all the comments. I think I do a pretty good job, but there are probably some that I've missed, I'm sure. So if you have questions and I haven't answered them, then feel free to hop in here, ask a question. And then if you're not interested in staying, that's totally fine. I get that. Just hop right off. But, this is kind of here. I'm doing the streaming thing because it's nice to be able to interact with the creator that you enjoy watching their content. And it's nice to ask them things, and get an answer right away. Kind of get their view in word form, because really spoken word it's a lot more accurate to how that person feels. It's got, voice inflection, tone, all of that stuff that you just can't get with writing. And so that's part of why I do these. This is not replacing my videos. It will be significantly slowing them down, though, for the time being. Let me know if you all like that or dislike that. Okay. I'll probably do a hammer making video. And I'm actually going to be doing a lot more in the shop at my school, because we're allowed to use the power hammer now. And that opens up a lot of doors, just for either mass production of small stuff or, the ability to use larger starting material to make big stuff. So likely that's what I'll be doing on Saturdays from now on. And what's nice about the school I'm coming to, I enjoy what I'm learning, right? During high school, I didn't, enjoy every second of what I was learning, just because some of the classes didn't seem very applicable to blacksmithing. Like, I'm not really utilizing chemistry that much, organic chemistry or anything like that, or calculus. The most I'm doing in here is measuring and then dividing. That's the most I'm doing. So, I don't know. Some of that stuff just seemed useless to me. But this, everything I'm learning connects back to what I'm doing for my career, what I'm passionate about. And so school is much more enjoyable for me now than it has been in the past. To say nothing, I'm very grateful to my mother, in particular, and my parents, because they homeschooled me. But, state requirements of certain classes seem a little silly to me. Then again, though, I've known what I've wanted to do for most of my life. And there are some people that don't. And so how do you take classes for your career when you don't know what your career is going to be? So I understand that aspect as well. But for me to take calculus is a bit redundant. Not redundant. It doesn't seem like it makes a ton of sense. That's where I'll leave it. And again, I only went up to pre-calc because that's all that was required where I lived in Ohio. But in math class now, I mean, they're just reteaching most of what I learned in. I think the level we're at now is somewhere in pre-algebra-ish territory, because there are some people that are, 40 and 50 years old that are coming here, because this is a very non-traditional college. So there are all different types of people coming here. And the thing is, they haven't done math in 15 years, like algebraic math. So it makes sense. And like history class isn't just, this guy conquered this guy. I've always liked history anyway, so that's not really a big factor. But it's architectural history. This is how they used to do things. This is why guild systems were important in medieval Europe. Stuff like that. Stuff that you don't have that much of in the Common Core curriculum across the country. And I really enjoy that. I think it's unique and different and very usable information for me. Okay, so I'm almost done cutting these slits. Might be able to finish at this heat if I hurry up. Piece of coal here. Nah, I probably won't finish at this heat. I'll heat it up again. Sometimes, especially if I'm making 3 or 4 of these in a day, by the time I get to the third one, I can usually chisel the lines down in 2 heats or so. I found that you kind of get a warm up or 2 before you really get going. Okay, this will be the last side. And then the next heat, I'll untwist it and get that pattern. Then we can work on the blade. Now, I am going to blast through. I've done this 1,000 times on the channel, so, if anybody's in chat, feel free to ask me to slow down, but I can do this quickly. And I've got other stuff I'd like to do as well today, so. Other stuff in the forge, obviously. Because I plan to be on here for probably 3 hours or so. Just so, I can catch people who get off at 5, 4:30. And I think for the next one, I'm actually not going to narrate at all except in between heats, just to see how fast I can get one done. I haven't really done, call it a speed run, but this isn't a video game, so I don't know how I feel. I mean, people do real life speed runs, I suppose. So yeah, I guess this will be speed run of a railroad spike knife. Pineapple twist percent. Maybe I should. You know what? Maybe that's next stream. Maybe next week is speed running, making a railroad spike knife. I'll have to fiddle with getting a timer that I can pause that shows up on stream. I'm pretty sure you actually can't do that with YouTube, so I'll just have to get an actual stopwatch. But that could be fun. And obviously it'll be forging, no grinding, just forged. Okay. Should be ready here. And again, this twist here is just half of a twist, the opposite direction that you twisted the first time. That means I need to go that direction. Oh, no. Knocked it out of the vise. It's still hot enough to untwist half a twist, I think, though. There we go. There we go. All right. Yeah, I think for the speed run category, I'll just do a regular twist, not a pineapple twist. Seems more interesting to me. Okay. I'll give it a wire brush and show you guys the pattern more closely here in a second. There we go. There we go. So that gives that nice pattern that kind of looks like scales or the crust. Crust. What do you call that? The cortex of a pineapple, I suppose? I suppose that's the word I would use, yeah. Cortex. I don't know the technical term, so that's what I'm going with. Cortex of a pineapple. Okay, blade time. It's going to be all gas, no brakes. All right. All right, back in the fire. Yes. Yes, railroad spike knife. Making 2 today. By the way, there is a pretty big delay between me talking and you hearing it. So. Okay. Now I can draw that out some more. So I'm just working on the first one. This is going to be the Dragon's Breath one of the 2. The other one's just a straight back. Okay. Should be hot now. Hopefully. It is. Cool. Okay. All right, I'm going to make the set down for the scroll. And this one's pretty much done being forged. Okay. And then for this, I will also need my chisel. But I'm going to heat it back up first. I'd like to get it done in one heat. So. Wherever my chisel went, there it is. All right. And basically all I've done is cut this piece away so that I can bend it away and taper it and then scroll it on the back of the blade. It gives it a cool look. Cool in my opinion, it is. Come from the other side and just really solidify that all the way through. All right. I'll get this out. All I'm using the hot cut for is just to spread that piece away a little bit using the angle of the cutting edge. For those of you just joining, we're making railroad spike knives. And I just got the handle done and the blade forged on one of them. I'm now doing the scroll in the back edge of the blade to get that dragon's breath look. Like so. And all that does is spread that away from the back of the blade there so I can get access to that point. Like this. Like that. And then I can clean up this chisel point here because it left a nasty edge. And the next step is going to be tapering this a little bit down, but I'm going to heat it up first. I don't want to split it or anything like that. Okay. All right. Yep. I'm just going to taper this down. This is a little awkward just because you have to move the whole blade and it's perpendicular to the actual piece I'm working on, so it's wonky like that, but it's manageable. All right. I'm going to heat it back up, scroll it back. Then it'll be on to beveling. Oh, yeah, tongs. Here, let me hold up. Where are the tongs at? We got tong tricks. You know? You can spin it around, spin it back. Yeah, you have to. Like, eventually, you get so good with them that you can, like, open and close them with one hand and stuff. You get all this weird hand dexterity that you would never think you get. I hope that's not melted off. Okay, it did. Dang it. Now I gotta... Grr! You got excited about tongs, man. I gotta fix this. If I even can. Well, it's gonna be a shorter scroll than expected. But should still do the job, which is to look cool. There we go. Gotta heat that back up. It's gonna be a little crusty, but shouldn't harm anything. All right. And so that is what we were going for on the back of the blade there. Not sure how well you can see that. Ah, there we go. A little twirly gig there. And that's purely aesthetic. There is no structural purpose for that whatsoever. But I think it is a distinct look. I haven't seen anybody else put scrolls on the back of railroad spike knives, so it's a nice, like, distinguishing factor. It's water. What's up? How are you, Taryn? So now I'm just moving on to beveling, pretty standard stuff. Just going to straighten it out here. That's usually the final step in making any knife. The straightening out process saves you a lot of grinding. A lot of material and a lot of grinding, that's for sure. There we go, and then I forgot to do this earlier, but I want to give the handle a bit of a curve. So I'll put that back in too. I'm doing good, Taryn. I'm glad you're doing good. Okay. There we go. So I can straighten it out a bit more because it got a little bent. That and then curve it. I like to put a curve in there usually. There we go. Wasn't looking quite right to me right there. Okay, there we go. That looks good to me. All right. So that's one. I'll get to the other one now. This one's going to be pretty much the same thing, but a bit simpler. You need to make sure that this one has a pineapple twist handle. Okay. Number two. This one is the same on the handle, but much simpler on the blade. So it's going to start the exact same way. The end process will just be a little quicker. Hello from Brazil. How is it down there? Is it warm? At least I assume that's what you mean, that you're from Brazil. Or that you're in Brazil currently. Either way, you'll know the weather. All right, hopefully this is hot. We can get to working on this handle. For anyone just here, we are making a railroad spike knife with a pineapple twist handle. Chisel. This one should go a bit faster, hopefully. Like I said, I need to warm up one. I got 2 sides done that heat as opposed to 1. Not quite hot yet. If you work too cold, well, if you work anything but optimum heat, you're going to lose out on productivity. The thing about blacksmithing is the heat is the heat of the metal is actually the scarce resource. And so you want to use that as efficiently as you can. So it's better to leave the piece in there, let it heat up all the way before wasting that heat and working on it. It's not your metal, it's not your fire itself, it's not your hammer or your anvil that you are constantly seeking to find more of. It's that heat. Okay. And the last side. Okay. All right. That one went much quicker. I can clean this up a little bit here. Okay. Then I'll flatten the head, go in for a twist. Get the scale off my anvil. All right. Gotta wait for it to heat up here. Should be hot now. Hot enough. Okay, and then I'll twist it. Need some more coal on the fire here. And since I moved down here, I've gone through 7 out of the 9 bags of coal I had. Luckily, my family's coming down soon to resupply me because they have a bunch of coal at their house now. So that's nice of them. I appreciate it. All right. And again, for a pineapple twist, it's a full twist in one direction. And then the next twist you do after flattening it out and redoing the, it's too hot. After redoing the chisel slots, then you untwist it, half a twist the other direction. Yeah, unfortunately, I set this thing right next to my forge. And so one side of the handle was extremely hot. I'm going to put it in a better location this time, maybe on this rack. Okay, I'm going to pop it back in the forge. Okay. So again, I'm just going down each of the four sides and flattening it back out into a square. Oh. Okay. And the next heat, obviously, we're going to do some chiseling. Yeah. Let's get that back in. Better camera angle? That's good. Glad it's a better camera angle. I'll have to remember this location in particular. Where's my chisel? There it is. Okay. And one thing that helps a lot is when you twist, you'll be able to see where your original chisel marks were. So it's good to connect the two. That way you'll have a pretty good chance of having a straight line. Kind of screwed that one up a little bit. But. Yep, it's getting hot. Okay. Wasn't able to get two in one heat that time. Didn't quite get it hot enough for that. There's a point where, like I was saying earlier, the hotter it gets, the easier it is to work, but that's also an exponential curve. It's the same for how hard it is to work as it gets colder. If you take your steel out at a cherry red, you're going to do almost nothing to it. Whereas if you take it out at white yellow, it's going to move like butter. And so obviously that's what you're aiming temperature-wise to get. All right. Okay. Cool. Very good. Ah. Just the one side left to chisel. You know, I don't know what that third word is, but I can read Brazil and I can read Jesus. So glad you're a Christian as well. Or Jesus, I suppose, would sound better to your ears. If that makes sense. Okay, time for the untwist. Where is the... There it is. Aha! Oh, no, that's the wrong way. That usually screws it up, but this time it doesn't look like it did. Yeah, it came out all right. Cool, cool. Okay. Okay. All right. I want to just clean up these chisel marks a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Tee it back up for this. Hey, 7 viewers. That's an all-time high. Cool. Okay. There we go. They look better. And that's how you get that nice pattern. go ahead and curve this real quick and then start working on the blade. All right. Hopefully the steel's hot now. There we go. Back in the fire. There we go. Looking a little weird up there at the tip of the other one that I made. Okay. That's getting down to the size that I want it. I'm going to thin that down just a little bit more. Okay. Okay. I want to get to beveling here. That should be about that for this one. We got a clinker in the forge. I'm going to go ahead and pull everything out, try to get that out of there. There we go. Get all of that out of the way. And I'll have to let the fire rebuild a little bit. Move some coal around. Just get it to where I can more easily put it in the fire. It's always nice. Another aspect of blacksmithing that a lot of people don't really think about is fire management. It's actually a very large part of forging a piece, making it clean, etc. You need to manage your fire well, because if you don't, these things called clinkers will form. And basically what a clinker is it's mainly sulfur, but it's all the impurities that aren't carbon in the coal. And then they just melt out because it gets so hot. They form in the bottom. And they actually block the air. They suck heat out of your fire. Or they give you cold spots. So you're constantly trying to get your piece hotter and hotter, searching for those warm spots. And then you end up burning it because you're trying to overcompensate. Long story short, you really want to make sure you're managing the fire well. And coal fires are completely different than any other kind of fire. Just like a propane forge is completely a different beast to a coal forge. It's the same for coal fire to wood fire or charcoal. Get some water real quick. It's getting warm in here. Let's check the temperature outside the forge. Yeah, it's not visibly, it's noticeably, that's the word I mean. It's noticeably cooler outside. Here we go. Nope, never mind. Gotta let the fire rebuild, get hot again. Problem with removing a clinker is you're kind of stealing the heart out of the fire. So when you're done, you gotta build the fire back up. Should be hot now, hopefully. Yeah. Perfect. So I'm going to curve this tip over a little. Just so when I bevel it, it doesn't curve too much. Okay. We're almost there in the beveling department. Just got to clean them up a little bit, these bevels. Okay. And then during all this forging, the handle got just barely twisted out of shape, so I'm going to heat that back up now. Just straighten it out real quick here. I don't have to get my twisting tongs for this. This is a very slight adjustment that I'm doing, so I just use these tongs. Yep. Better tongs for this. There we go. And that kind of worked the blade, so I got to straighten that out too. First, oh yeah, that totally worked the blade out of shape. Have to fix that. All right. Shouldn't be melted, should be just right. Yep. Don't need it super, super hot for straightening out, luckily. All right. So that's that for this one. I am now going to move on to this towel. I have a bit of an issue, though. I don't actually have the material I need to make it, so I need to make that material out of other material. I need 3/8" square stock, and I have 1/2" round stock, so I should be able to draw that down to a size that suits my needs here. I'm just going to hot cut off a fairly long piece. Here. I need to get like a stand over there or something. This'll do. This board here. Okay. I'll wait for that to heat up. That's just laying across the top of my forge, so it's going to be a while. That'll do. I'm just going to cut it off here. Ooh. It's a long piece here. Oh, okay. And there we go. What to do with this piece? Guess I can punch this like this. There we go. Okay, and now I don't even need tongs for this piece. It's long enough. The heat won't travel down into my hand. I can make sure of that by just dipping the handle in water preemptively here in the old quench bucket. So how is everyone? Everyone that has not spoken in chat. You don't have to speak, but streaming is kind of about interacting with the creator. So how are you all doing today? There is a significant delay, by the way, so it'll take this a minute to go through. Okay, that's a little bit. I want to draw it up to about here or so. There we go. Okay. Going well so far. And again, I'm just making a towel holder as of right now, but who knows what I'll do here in a minute once I'm done with this. This shouldn't take forever. It can be hotter. All right. That should get hotter now. Put some more coal on top. Insulates it more. All right. Hopefully this is hot enough now. Yes, it's perfect. Getting there. I am going to start using tongs here, I think. It was getting pretty warm on my hands there. unfortunately, I don't have a flatter. So I'm going to have to do a lot of this. A lot of planishing here with just my hand hammer. There we go. That's looking nice and flat. All right. Now for the planishing, this is called planishing. For the planishing, you really don't need it that hot because all it is just very lightly tapping. And as you can see on this hot spot, I'm just barely tapping it. Because I'm not actually trying to move this wheel. I'm just trying to flatten it out. Okay, now I can actually start forging what I want to forge. Which is obviously going to be that towel holder that I've been talking about. So I'm going to cut this off and get to making the product itself. I'll probably go for another hour or so as far as the stream goes. If you're watching this as a video and you've made it this far, and you obviously enjoy it, because we're about 2 hours in now. So if you have been enjoying it, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. It helps my channel in more ways than one. And it's free, and you can always change your mind, obviously, if you don't end up not enjoying what I'm making. I won't hold it against you at all. That's just life sometimes. So, but yeah, anyway, I'm going to continue here. I'll go ahead and straighten this piece out. Okay. So for the towel holder, I don't know if I've done a video on these or not. I have to taper both ends and then make them round. So on this piece, it'll have gone from round to square and then back down to round. And it's getting toasty in here. Hopefully that breeze starts blowing. All right. Let's not burn this here. Almost burned it. Okay. So again, I'm just going to round out this piece. Now, how you round something out, you can never get something truly round like rollers in a factory can, but you can get pretty close. And basically what it amounts to is looking at your piece, looking at every high spot you can find and tapping it. Now, traditionally, you bring it to 4 sides, then you bring it to 8 sides, and then you continue rolling it and hitting it kind of like this. And, you know, on bigger pieces, you might even take it to 16 sides before you start rounding it. Oh, no. Okay, we saved it. I almost burnt it. Like that. And, you know, you can do this as much as you want, but That's round enough for me. Pretty close to round in my book. So now I'm going to give it a little scroll and then work on the other side. Like that. I think I want to draw this section down a little bit more. It's a bit wide for me. And my piece is looking a little short. Because twisting, it'll actually compress it a little bit, give it a little less length as well. Okay. That is more satisfactory. On to the other side. Okay. Let's get this here. Wait for that to heat up. Okay, should be ready. And it is. And then I'll round it off once again, give it a scroll, and then I can twist the whole of the shaft here, because that's, if you've seen my Etsy page at all, they're supposed to be twisted. And I could have done it out of round stock, so I have 3/8" round stock, but that wouldn't be true to the listing. That wouldn't be true to what the customer actually purchased. So I'd rather take the extra time, make the correct thing, than shaft somebody. It is hot. Oh. Let the sweat off my face here. Get it out of my eyes. I think we may have burnt it. Yeah. Oh well. Can always taper it down some more. then I can get to rounding that. Man, what is the deal here? Okay, give it a scroll, and then I'll twist the whole piece. Actually, I don't think I need... No, I don't want to scroll that way. I'm going to draw it out a little bit more from the middle. It's not long enough, and it's a bit too chunky. Well, I'm just going to leave it be, but not going to look right. Not going to be usable in the same way. Okay. And you know what's awesome is I just hit 150 subscribers. So for anyone watching as a video or anybody watching in general, thank y'all so much. It means a lot. It's crazy that 150 different people are that interested in what I'm doing. Once again, I'm going to go through the same process of flattening that out, making it look clean and crisp before I twist it. All right, and then I'm going to draw this last part out. That should be long enough. That's looking much better, much more proportionate to what I want it to be. Okay. Now, all right. I burnt it. This is not recoverable. Yep, so that's ruined. That's unfortunate. Well, that's frustrating. What should I work on now? I guess I will do a bottle opener. Your focus lapses for 3 seconds, and then you burn what you've been working on. That is the reality of blacksmithing. And it's something that you just have to get used to. Once I finish this bottle opener, I think that's going to be it for me for today. almost got the top of the bottle opener done. I'm going to bend it over and then twist the handle, and that'll be it for today. Okay, that's that for the bottle opener portion. And then I'm going to flatten out this head and just give it a regular twist, and that'll be that. Okay, give it a twist here. So for those of you who watched this video, if you've watched this far, if you skipped to the end, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like and subscribe. That helps my channel out a lot. I will be doing this every Sunday at 2 to 2:30, around about that time. Again, this isn't to replace videos. It will slow down the uploads, but it isn't to replace them. Thanks for watching again, and I hope to see you all in the next one. And then I'll keep you all around just for this twist here. That messed that up, so I'm gonna mess that up a bit. You gotta straighten it out. And then just got to straighten out this railroad spike head. All right. There we go. And that's the bottle opener. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. I will see you on the next stream. Have a good one.